You sit in a quiet cafe in Bangkok. The atmosphere is relaxed, and the sounds of clinking coffee cups fill the air. Across from you, a figure leans in, speaking in a low voice. $50,000 for a new passport. No one will ever trace your past. There's a glint of mystery in their eyes, and as they speak, you feel the weight of the offer. Would you buy it? Who is buying? And who is selling? These questions swirl in your mind. It may sound like something out of a movie, but it's not. This is the reality of the underground passport trade, and today, we're going to uncover the crazy world of Southeast Asia's passport market. The passport market, a global perspective. In today's globalized world, passports have evolved beyond being just a simple travel document. They have become symbols of wealth, freedom, and global mobility. In some countries, passports have even become a commodity, with some nations offering investment citizenship programs. These programs allow individuals to purchase a new identity through investments, whether it be in real estate, charitable donations, or direct contributions to the country's economy. Countries like St. Kitts and Nevis, Cyprus, and Malta offer such programs. Prices range from hundreds of thousands to several $1 million, offering buyers the ability to acquire a passport that provides them with access to high-income countries, global travel convenience, and even the ability to circumvent certain tax and legal restrictions. The appeal of these golden passports is obvious. They allow visa-free travel to multiple countries, access to top-tier healthcare and education, and potential tax benefits. For many wealthy entrepreneurs and investors, it's a lucrative investment. In some cases, it's more than just an investment in a passport. It's an investment in political and economic stability. However, behind these seemingly legitimate investment programs lies a darker side: the illegal passport market. Underground passport trades and forged documents have become channels for evading the law, laundering money, avoiding taxes, and escaping sanctions. In some regions, you can obtain a new identity with little to no scrutiny, as long as you have enough money to pay. In some countries, particularly those with lax regulations, there are few questions asked when someone is willing to pay for a new identity. These black market passports are typically forged, often without any background checks, allowing buyers to easily secure a legitimate-looking passport without the hassle of a detailed vetting process. How does it work? The process is clandestine. Many buyers go through intermediaries, underground networks, or corrupt officials to get their hands on these documents. For a fee, buyers can get a passport that appears legitimate, but has no real history, no traceable identity. These operations are hidden in the shadows, where the transaction is completed with little to no oversight. What's alarming is that these forged passports are often sold at a fraction of the cost of a legitimate investment citizenship. But with that reduced cost comes significant risk. While these black market passports might help some individuals bypass the law, if discovered, the consequences can be severe. Buyers risk arrest, asset freezing, or even being placed on international wanted lists. Who is buying these passports? You might think that only criminals and tax evaders are purchasing these underground passports, but the reality is far more complex. A significant portion of buyers are wealthy entrepreneurs, global citizens, and even people trying to avoid certain legal constraints or international sanctions. Let's consider a few real-world examples. A well-known Russian billionaire managed to buy a Southeast Asian passport to avoid international sanctions. With this new passport, he was able to freely travel and continue his business dealings, despite being tracked globally under his original identity. Another example: a notorious scammer used a black market passport to flee to Southeast Asia, where he continued his illegal activities for years without being caught. Interpol had no lead on his whereabouts until much later, when he was eventually apprehended. The motivations for buying such passports are varied. Some are seeking a more favorable tax environment, while others simply want more freedom of movement. Then, there are those who are trying to escape the reach of law enforcement. Who is selling these passports? Behind every black market passport transaction is someone who facilitates the deal. These passport brokers or criminal syndicates play a central role in enabling the trade. They often use fake documentation, provide fraudulent identity proofs, and sometimes even collaborate with corrupt officials to deliver these counterfeit documents. One passport broker described how they help clients acquire these false identities. For a price, they provide fake declarations of residency, falsified financial statements, and backdated records that make it seem like the buyer has been living in the country for years. Prices for these underground passports range from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the operation doesn't stop at the exchange of money. These brokers often have extensive networks that extend across borders, using political connections and shadowy channels to push these deals forward. There's no official paper trail, and once the deal is done, the buyer is free to live under a new identity, undetected by authorities. The risks and the dark side. While the allure of buying a black market passport may seem tempting, the risks are enormous. If the passport is discovered to be forged, the buyer could face arrest, asset freezing, or even extradition to the country they were trying to escape from. The consequences extend far beyond the legal ramifications. Reputational damage and financial ruin are often inevitable. To combat this underground market, nations have ramped up passport verification processes. International organizations such as Interpol and other global entities have launched joint operations to target the underground passport trade. Their efforts go beyond simply shutting down illegal passport operations. They also focus on cutting off money laundering, tax evasion, and preventing criminals from using fake identities to escape justice. Despite these efforts, the underground passport trade continues to flourish in many parts of the world. Regulatory loopholes and widespread corruption provide fertile ground for these illicit transactions to thrive. Global efforts to combat the market, themed transitions to international conferences, digital passport security systems, and cooperative efforts between countries. Governments across the world are tightening their passport controls. Countries are using advanced technology, like biometric data and digital passports, to strengthen identity verification and counteract counterfeit documents. These systems not only make it more difficult to forge a passport, but they also make it easier to trace illegal transactions and identify the people behind these operations. Moreover, international collaboration has been key to combating the problem. Countries are increasingly sharing intelligence, conducting joint operations, and monitoring cross-border activities. Interpol and other agencies have created global databases to track individuals suspected of using forged documents, which helps close the loopholes exploited by criminals in the passport trade. But even with these efforts, the market for black market passports remains robust. There are still countries where the passport system is weak, and corrupt officials can easily facilitate these deals. In the end, the challenge remains: how can the world fully clamp down on this underground trade without sacrificing personal freedoms and the right to mobility? Your choice. If you had $50,000, would you buy a new passport? This is a tempting yet dangerous decision. For some, it's an opportunity for freedom and new beginnings. For others, it's a slippery slope, leading to criminal activity and international sanctions. In the gray economy, every decision can have far-reaching consequences. Thank you for watching today's episode. If you have thoughts or opinions on this topic, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Until next time.